Recording in progress. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. What happened here? Oh, I probably did. It's okay. You ready for roll call?
Councilmember Crompton. Emerald Baker. Here. Kathy.
Here.
Keller.
Here.
Miller.
Excuse you.
Mayor Bell. Here. Committee member Bump.
Here.
Pataccio.
Here.
Pruitt.
Here.
Seeger.
Here.
Sipe. Swanziger.
We need to add, approve the minutes of, you give Pete a minute to read them. Is there a motion? Well, we're gonna give Pete a minute or two to read them, since he just got here. And are you done reading?
No,
Okay.
one more.
This last name.
Possibly.
Can I ask,
Yeah,
he's getting the deputy,
yeah.
he's getting. But I thought, I don't know if we could look at the lowest. I don't know. Or still, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, just a thought.
busier during the summer, but
Right.
it's more darkness during the winter, so
I don't know,
it's kind of a trade-off.
yeah. See what, maybe see what it thinks.
I was thinking about that too, asking if they would take most of December, January.
They'll just be creative, I don't know.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the minutes of Wednesday, May 22, 2024 meeting.
I so moved.
And a second,
I second.
it's been moved and seconded, any discussion?
I guess I'd like to add. I feel like somewhere in the meeting last, I kept reiterating that as much as I'm supportive of these temporary changes to fund the police contract, I want council to, thoroughly investigate a broader revenue analysis of the city. So we're not playing this nickel and dime game we just went through. We should have enough funds and revenue through our entire city budget to be able to fund those services and not be, kind of drag through that exercise. So I don't feel like I saw anywhere in there that BCM Seeger is suggesting that the council and or budget committee do a more comprehensive revenue review so we can shore up the city's finances. I don't know if that did come out, or if it did. Yeah, that, I would hope that would be reflected in the minutes somewhere. So I don't know if I can amend it to add that, something to that effect.
Go ahead.
Okay, so. Does somebody withdraw their motion?
No, just take your amendment and then we'll move
Okay,
to
so
vote with amendment.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the minutes from May 22nd, 2024.
Okay, well, there's already been a motion. Do you want to make an amendment to the motion?
I want to amend the motion to include comments to the effect that Budget Committee member Seeger suggested that the council and or Budget Committee do a more thorough revenue analysis for the city so we can shore up our fiscal situation and improve the viability of future police contract services.
Connie, are you willing to,
I am.
and Denise, are you willing to second that?
Yes.
Any more discussion? Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Emily Baker,
Aye.
Happy,
Aye.
Keller,
Aye.
Mayor Fallon,
Aye.
Citizen Member Bump,
Yes.
Lattaccio,
Yes.
Pruitt,
Yes.
Seeger.
Yes.
Jennifer, I texted CM Crompton, will not let me make it.
Well, he's excused then. Okay, so we're gonna go through each budget again and discuss any changes that were made. Start with tab 6, general fund. Okay, well, I'll go first then. On the second page, well, actually, let's just go page by page, it's the first page. So any discussion on the first page? Go ahead, Renee.
What is the transfer from other funds for $4,000?
I'm sorry, can you just show where we're at?
It's it's right at the bottom of the revenue.
It's on the revenue page of general fund.
General fund revenue.
Then there was just like line transfer.
I see that, okay, thank you, okay.
I typed it in there when we were talking, and for the life of me, I cannot remember the discussion to that now. I was asking myself that same question earlier. Where is that? I'm still.
It's at the bottom of the revenue.
Yeah.
On the first page.
What tab are you in?
6, we're starting with.
You have the new,
Oh, this is in the new budget.
this is the new one. Yeah, that she, we
Yeah, this
sent out on the.
line right here.
Got it.
I thought it had something to do with tourism.
Yeah, I think it was 4,000.
Was that audits?
No, we asked them to pay their own utilities.
Oh, was that it? Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to transfer money to the general fund for the museum to pay, or for the tourism to pay the utilities or whatever we're doing.
Yes.
So, and I didn't see where that 4,000 was coming from.
Okay.
So that means that needs to be gone.
Okay, that would explain when I was putting it together, there was an extra $4,000 because I actually ended up moving the expense to the tourism fund.
Yeah, that is just,
Yeah.
so I deleted that.
Scratching that now.
Yes.
Anything else on page 1? Okay, so page 2 of the general fund, and tab 6, we're still, that's the. There's still a spelling error under general fund. Material services.
So, yeah. You're talking the total one down there at the bottom or the top? I can't
At
tell.
the top, the header of the second to last block of. Above administration.
Has a T.
1, 2,
instead of an
3,
L.
third box down. The header above the box, general fund,
Materiate.
Matterrail, and
I don't know what it is.
services expenses.
Sorry, I can see it.
Right there.
Oh, right there, yep,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And this is the leftover from last year.
Tier,
EO.
okay, there we go, all right, I kept missing that, yeah.
No, okay. Anything else on that page? There you go.
Well, can you explain to me why the contracted and You might know what it is, but I can't figure it out. Contract services miscellaneous dropped $3,000.
So we actually ended up dropping it to, I think, 110. But that $4,000 we just deleted. Then I was doing the math, I had that extra money, so it does need to go back down.
So it needs to go down to 110, not 115.
Actually, it would be 111 now.
And then on the contract service audit, that's where the rates, the pay. Job was coming from there, and we said 10,000 and only 8,000 was taken out.
I don't remember what we said.
Yeah,
We agreed on
It was pretty much to cut it to make the budget.
okay, so you just.
Yeah, so whatever that number ends up being.
So not necessarily 10,000
Yeah,
on,
the audit was 8,000 being covered by
yeah,
the tour.
Okay, so what was? Sorry,
okay.
okay. Good.
Anything else? Page 3. General fund. I did notice that the transfer from other funds went up to $390,000.
Mhm.
Do we? Why?
I had the same question.
Yeah,
Can you review what this would happen for the transfers out of funds?
there.
That's to cover the administrative overhead from the fire department.
Okay.
Like that.
More questions? And that's it for, so that's it for general fund. Tab 7, the system development charges, there were no changes. So we'll move on to tab 8, street funds. Streets fund. And
No, because he worked up the workers' comp, which we thought was bad, so it was. So
Yeah, I adjusted all those throughout the document.
I noticed that, yeah. And then you took it out of contingency to balance?
Yep.
anything else? More discussion? Tab 9, fire EMS.
I read in the minutes that, I had brought up the discussion about burn permits. And I see the burn permits are still in permit fees, $750. Are we leaving them or you put them where they're supposed to go? I just asked.
I thought it was consensus to leave it where it was.
And that's not what the. Says finding this,
Page 3.
yeah, fire and EMS fund, both said burn permits issued by city go under miscellaneous income. She said burn permits for propane tanks go under permit fees. She said it's been that way for many years. Chair Pruitt said,
Yeah, that's it. Admin.
oh, and then here, UCM Cedars said, the way he understands it, 24-25, the city is budgeting $250 for permit fees and $750 for burn permits. Which is miscellaneous income. And you, Bennett said that is correct. So I just want a clarification, are you moving it or are you leaving it in front? Because I know that, the front desk charges them to miscellaneous income. When they come in.
We asked for a consensus this time.
Yeah, very fine.
Sorry, let someone, can someone tell me?
Okay, so take $250 out of the permit fees and move it down to,
750 out of permit fees.
oh, 700
Fees.
from permit fees down to,
To miscellaneous income.
yes,
Which are burn permits.
is there a consensus?
I don't understand. I mean, I understand,
Just putting it in the right place. Sorry.
that's what I don't understand. I hear permit fees, it's a cost to buy a burn permit. I understand, what I hear Mary Ann saying is that it should be added to the appropriate line item when somebody pays for the burn permit. I see permit fees, that's a burn permit, a propane permit. I don't see that as miscellaneous income, and I believe we had a conversation about what other options were for miscellaneous income last time.
I am trying to keep track of how, for the burn permit, you put it in permit fees, which are usually the propane permit fees on vendors. And that's the way it's been, and I believe, and I'm not 100% sure, but I thought there was a resolution on that, but that might not be right. I'm just trying to keep history. If you put it with the permit fees, you've lost every history for the burn permits. That's all I'm saying. You want to do that, if that's up to all you guys, that's fine. I'm just pointing out that that's not the way it has been done for over 20 years.
Okay, so according to,
Didn't we have this exact conversation a week ago? And I swear we had consensus to leave this in permit fees.
Not reflected in the minutes.
unfortunately,
So if you want to leave it in, permit fees, that's up to you guys.
Oh,
I disagree with it.
so in the book, oh, go ahead.
I make a motion, or I ask for consensus to leave it in permit fees.
Okay, if. We'll take a vote here in just a second. Okay, so last year's explanation said this, for permit fees, this is revenue generated from the sale of burn permits and other permits required by the city, such as fireworks permits, vending, park permits, propane inspection permits, and assembly, occupancy permits. So sometimes,
Sometimes then that has not been done. The front desk will need to know to change the account. So if you want to leave it there, that's fine.
so. By show of hands, is there a consensus to leave it as is? And we only, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we only have 6, so we need 7.
I mean, here's another thought, maybe sway another member. What the accounting department could do, even though it shows it in permits, there's an underlying spreadsheet that divides it on the types of permits that are happening. So if someone wanted to drill down and say, how many burn permits did we do this year and what was revenue? Then the accounting would have a spreadsheet that showed them by the type of permit. So it's not necessarily lost as long as we just ensure they track it. That's one way to address that and not lose the history.
I think the history is always there, you know, even if it's switched to just permits, you can still break it out, see which permit is which. So,
That is true, the history is there.
yeah, we
But-
don't lose it.
Who is gonna take the time to do that, to break it out? It's not something that's very easy to do.
Right.
And I'm just saying that it's always been that way.
Right.
You can do whichever way you want.
I know I don't want to spend a half an hour on.
Yeah,
this, but-
no, I don't either. All we need is a consensus.
Good, I don't know where it's at.
Just leave it.
Okay, so Mary Ann changes her vote.
I just wanna move on.
All right,
Team player, thank you, Mary Ann.
Yeah, no problem.
thank you.
I might disagree with it, but I will go with it.
All right, any more on page 1?
Yes. Now you have down here the $710, which was from the memorial fund in capital reserve. But I don't see it going anywhere, in this fund. And because I requested it, and I believe it was an agreement, it would go over to the volunteer association, but theirs did not increase, it still is at 5,000. So where is that $710 at? Cause I cannot find it.
No. Right now, it's just going into the fund, but I can change it to it goes into the volunteer association.
Well, because I believe that is in the minutes also.
So that's gonna change contact for the volunteer association to 5710, is that right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have the formula set up where any changes will automatically adjust contingency.
Where's it going? It went into contracted services volunteer association.
Okay, so then that'll make it,
5710.
oh,
So they get it and they can utilize it to benefit the.
our parents. Any more discussion?
Yes, I have a discussion on equipment vehicle maintenance. I thought we agreed that 4,000 in tires needs to go to vehicle tires, which you did. But you didn't lower equipment vehicle maintenance by 4.
Yes, because I talked to Chief Logan, we decided to leave the vehicle maintenance at 13 because it was needed and take the 4,000 out of contingency.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Okay, and I thought that we were going to charge fire and EMS for their admin overhead services.
Which we did.
We did.
We did.
The next box up.
What, it doesn't show it here. Oh, wait.
On the next page.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong budget, never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, we're only on, we're only on budget number 4,
No,
so I can't understand how it can be confusing
Okay.
at all. Okay,
Continue to March, thank you.
anything else? Okay, let's go to page 2. Mary Ann, did you have anything on that? Anybody have any questions on page
He
2?
answered the 4,000.
Okay. All right, hearing none, I'll go on to 10 was no changes, which was grants funds, and we'll go on to 11, which is tourism. And I know Mary Ann has lots.
So I added 12,000 to tourism support to cover museum utilities and $8,000 out of the audit. I took out 5,000 from capital reserve and 7,000 from contingency.
So, Mr. Kelly, and
Gordon, I don't have a printer at home,
Sorry,
so I'm following along with you.
Yep, so right, here, I added the 12,000 in tourism support, which, for lack of a better word, is kind of tourism slush fund to cover miscellaneous expenses and things like that. 4,000 for utilities for the museum and 8,000 to cover the 2 audits to be completed this year. To reduce expenses where elsewhere, I took 5,000 out of capital reserve and 7,000 out of contingency.
okay, and since you did that, is there a reason why that the $8,000 wasn't put in the audit line?
No, there was not.
So should it be put there specifically for that?
Yes.
Can be, yeah.
I mean,
I mean, it's a contract services.
It's a contract
right?
service
That's
and
what
it's
it's paying for. That would make sense, yeah.
So then you reduce contract services, right?
Well, you reduce the tourism support.
Tourism support.
and then the 4,000 for utilities, answers your question.
Well, the 4,000 for utilities, they have an account number there for utilities, signage, web hosting. Why not just put /museums so that they know what they're paying for? If you put them in tourism support, you're jumbling up all this money and not directing it where it needed to go. I know you guys will, but I don't see that it's going to, utilities. I think it needs to be in the utility account. That's the purpose of those accounts.
Which was the utility company?
It says utility, signage, web hosting, and just put / museum, and you've got your utilities,
Got it.
and it stays with the utilities.
That makes sense.
And you don't
I
jumble
support
up
that.
tourism support.
I support that.
Makes a clearer picture.
It's only 4,000, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's only 4.
8,000 for the audit, 4,000 for utilities. 2,000.
And then, come out of 18.
Okay,
So you just made it 4,000, what was it before?
It was 4,000 before.
Right, yeah,
The signage, the web hosting, et cetera,
so it was,
there's 655.
500.
and
so
now
it should be
10,
4,000 plus that, right?
Right.
Yeah, 10.5.
Okay, I guess, oh, I see it, okay.
okay. great.
Madam Chair, I have a question.
Oh, go
Do
ahead.
we need a consensus to make sure that happens?
Oh, he already,
Nope, I got it right here. This is the living budget document.
anything else? Okay. Moving on to chapter 12, cemetery fund.
So I did the 4,800 in showing the 4,800 coming from cemetery trust to the cemetery for revenue. And split those between the wages and materials for the cemetery.
Any questions on that? Second page. There's no changes. Yeah, there's no change on the second page, okay. Tab 13, the water fund. Page 1. Any questions?
No.
Okay, page 2. I do have a question on the soda ash pump. I see that it's in there, but the past history for the soda ash pump is not in there. And in last year's budget, it was $6,500 for the soda ash pump and 3,300 for the chlorinated pump. I know it's just I mean, you can use it however you want right there. It's just, last year it was 65 or 33, and this year it's 458, I mean, 4,000 and 5,800. But, the budget itself needs to reflect last year's, because it doesn't, you know.
Gotcha.
Show the history, so you just keep track of it for the 23, 24 budget. Then again, it's not pertinent to getting this year's passed. Any more discussion? Better than none. Okay, tab 14, sewer fund. One. Any questions?
Yes.
Hearing none. Hearing none, do their homework.
Did you check with the CFO to see where that $3 million for the, DEQ?
We did not get a chance to dig into that now.
Yeah.
Madam Chair. I mean, to me, that's an outstanding issue. We don't have to fix it now, but I would love an email from the city administrator. Once you hear back and kind of figure that out, just to tell us, this is what, what you need to know about that. I would like, if the budget committee is okay, I'd like to make that request.
Okay. Page 2. Any discussion on page 2? Okay, on to, 15, tab 15 was electric funds. Totals, and there, I did not see any changes in that.
Well, I got them different ones. Oh, I know, yeah.
Anybody have any questions on page 2 or the?
Well, I'm just going back to that low income energy citizens. Is that the right page? Are we in that?
Yes.
For $7,000 and we still have the 3,000 out of our general fund. And my question is to the city administrator or deputy recorder, is it more difficult to access this fund than it is the 3,000 for folks or?
I talked with Carrie about this today, actually, and I have never dealt with it, so I don't know what the process is, and Carrie says she's never done it. So I don't know if there was a transition error, but I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, when we originally started this, the customers go through, the energy assistance program. The energy assistance program sends us a slip saying how much they are qualified for. It then comes out of this and puts into their utility account. We are supposed to use the electric department first. And if that gets low and we need more money, because a lot of citizens during the winter have problems with their utility bills. So then we go over and use the government side. And we have used both sides when I was there, because we have a lot of seniors that cannot.
So you think even though the data isn't showing that we used 10,000 last year, that we should keep both pots of money?
I recommend you do. I mean, you don't know how many citizens are gonna need help. And if you run out of money, you basically have to turn them down.
You used it all.
That's what Carrie said.
Yeah, fantastic.
All 10.
We have used all 10 before,
Oh, okay.
but we always take it out of the electric fund first and leave the government fund until we use this up.
Revenue sharing.
Yeah, the revenue share. The electric or government and community service fund is where the other 3 grand is.
Okay. Okay, that's what I wanted to check. Thank you.
Okay, so to the staff, so right now it shows actual, I think that's what we're pointing out, of $150 of the 7,000 budgeted.
I don't believe that's right.
But if I just thought I heard a whisper from this place,
Yeah.
we did actually use quite a bit of it this year. So that 150 may not be accurate.
I don't believe it is.
Pete,
I was just gonna say, it does seem suspect that we were 150 this year to date, nothing the year before, and then 7,000.
Right, like 3 years ago.
It seems like there's a discrepancy with the way that things are being
That's
accounted and
correct.
tracked, and then maybe with the change with some of the staff. It's not being recorded the
Yeah,
same way.
something's.
anyway,
But just to your point, leave it there because we need it and we gotta just sort out the,
sort out the accounting.
yes.
You said this year all C-CLIP funds were exhausted.
Okay. So. It's an accounting.
It's an accounting issue that they haven't put it in the sheet.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Thank you. Write it down, so. Sure. It's the. Loan. Just have that minute. Any more discussion on that page? Page 2. Any questions or? Right, hearing none, we will go on, let's see, tab 16 is water system fund and the corrosion treatment fund. And, the sewer, the 2018 sewer bond fund. And the wastewater upgrade fund, and the only change that was made was that the 2018 sewer bond refinance fund was put back on, so. Moving on to tab 17. Capital reserve.
Did you do the wastewater system upgrade?
No.
Wastewater system upgrade revenue? Because I have a question on that.
Scan 16.
Okay, staying 16, sorry, go back to 16.
Because we have a DEQ loan, why is it not showing as a, expense for principal and interest?
Why, the payment not coming out?
Well, you don't even have them listed as as to pay them. And I thought you said that we had to pay them this year. I might have misunderstood that, but
I'm not sure on that one, but yes, I think you're correct.
so to me, it needs to have the DEQ loan principal and interest listed there with the number that we have to pay back.
Yeah, and I don't know what that final number is yet, because we haven't closed out the project. And once I get that number, we can do a budget adjustment for
Bernard,
So are you saying that there's gonna be a separate? You know, you got water system improvement revenue, water system improvement expenses. So you're gonna show. Under the water system improvement expenses, this DEQ plate payment. Is that what I'm hearing?
it. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, so USDA doesn't actually give the money to the loan until after the project's completed. So we did an interim loan with Oregon DEQ, who's actually been funding the project. As soon as the project is done and closed out, we get and we tell USDA what the final amount of the loan was. We get a big old check from USDA, and then we cut a big old check to Oregon DEQ, which will be roughly $4 million. And then we start paying off the loan to USDA. It's a very convoluted process, but that's what it is.
Okay, but in this year, we're gonna be making a payment in 24, 25?
But yes, assuming we get closed out here in the next couple months, yes.
Okay, so yeah,
But I don't know that final number.
I understand, but there needs to be a space to
Yeah,
accounting to show that, right, on the budget, okay.
okay, on to tab 17, tab 17, capital reserve fund. And then, capital reserve, expense, it says capital reverse expense. Next, it would be the next block down. Go down. Right?
oh,
Some reverse.
Yeah, so
I couldn't tell that. Okay.
okay, so, Okay, and then in here on this page, you just changed, you took, 10,000 out of the reserve and moved it up to system vehicle equipment upgrade and replacement, assumedly for the computers.
Yes, correct.
Anything? Other than that, any other questions on that? And then we got the tab 18, all funds total. Any questions on page 1? No, it's here. Clean this too. Nothing else with that? Page 2. And out of that $16.5 million, how much of that is loans and, I mean, just a rough estimate.
One. Say about 10 of that.
And.
Yeah, somewhere in there. I mean, we have $1 million for the McCord Creek project coming up, roughly 4 million for the wastewater treatment plant, 4 million for the water system, another 500,000 for the electrical system project. Plus the corrosion control. And the sewer bond. So yeah, roughly 10 million.
Okay. That is this year's budget.
I'd say good job, everybody. We really, really appreciate all the input, all the discussion. And this is an important process, and I just really want to thank everybody who served on that.
So we need to make a motion to approve the budget and the amount will be on that last page.
And it is, there's the number right here.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, and in some places you have cents back in, somehow change creeped back.
Oh, yeah, every time I do something, the decimal pop back in and drives you nuts.
Yeah, okay. So I need a motion.
I move to approve the Cascade Logs 2024-2025 budget in the amount of $16,568,733.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Baker,
Aye.
Kathy,
Aye.
Keller,
Aye.
Mayor Fallon,
Aye.
Citizen Member Bump,
No, at this time.
Vitaccio. Pruitt,
No.
Seeger.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, then the budget count fails because we are one short of a vote. Do you want to explain why you voted no?
Well, I need to know that that $3 million is going to show in the sewer plant. Right now it doesn't, and I think it should have been because it was 22 and 23. And I have a problem with that. The budget is going to change drastically with that $3 million in there. And And the sewer fund will change drastically. I don't see how a budget can be passed if we've got money not represented or expenses not represented or anything like that. So that's my take on it.
You're talking about the DEQ USDA.
Yes.
And I say no because, going through this year's budget and last year's budget. Well, first I want to say I appreciate everybody's working on this and finding money for the sheriff contract, but at the same time, I feel like that money should go towards hiring a finance officer, because I feel like, the accountant couldn't answer some questions, and I feel like Jordan is a bit over his head, and it concerns me, and if our finances are not stable, it's gonna be a mess.
So you didn't want to, can you clarify, you didn't want to, you'd rather see the money not fund the police and fund the finance director?
I would like to see the money go towards our finance officer, yes, and I'm always against the internal payments, so.
Well, if it's any consolation, I second that, but with one small,
Caveat?
caveat.
Yeah, there you go.
I think we need a finance officer or finance director, but you take it from the contract services and the DFO now contract. That's where the money comes, not from the sheriff's contract.
Okay, I agree with that.
Okay, well, I hope that council, considers my suggestion that we do a more thorough analysis. And maybe again, we get this group back together and we talk about things like that. To, put our financial on a much more stable footing. So, if we do that, I can assure you, I will be advocating for that.
Now, what do we do?
So if we can get your objection was about the USDA, DEQ, and the sewer loan, get that straightened out. You'd be able to support the budget if you saw that in there.
Yeah. I mean, I still don't like the budget, but yes, I'd support it.
So if we
We're
had,
missing a lot of numbers, a lot of previous year's numbers, they're just missing, and I understand. We haven't had audits, but still, somebody's gotta be doing general ledger entries, GL entries, to get it into the GL. So that I don't understand. You do GL entries every day. And it should show the expenses and the revenue, so I
talk
don't.
about the actuals.
The actuals, yes, they're not, in a lot of the accounts are not being shown.
Can you speak to that? Because I am curious about that too, not to speak out of turn, but I am wondering, I was wondering the same thing, if we have actuals, it makes me wonder about the validity of the other actuals that we're missing. They're talking about the electric department, for example, right? And then we'd exhaust all those funds, and it only shows $100 year to date. Any idea why those are off?
That one I couldn't tell. I know as AP is run, they're updated in the general ledger. Those internal ones, I have to look, and I don't know. And I don't know what that process had been.
And it's in 33, I think. 133. Well, it's also in the sewer, 139. Is the one I'm concerned about. And concerned about all the other, line items that are missing from, actual.
I'm sure. So to the staff, what do you think it would take to be able to get some clarity on the DEQ loan and then get it in this budget in short order?
I have to sit down with Carl and run through the numbers, and probably be a couple days. to
Does it sound like
make-
that's what you want to see before you approve the budget?
I think
And
it's
then-
very important that you
And I
know
don't disagree with
what
you.
your revenue.
I don't disagree with you.
But it's saying that we gotta get a budget approved.
Well, yes, that's right.
Yeah,
Well, then here's my question. If I approve the budget, will this body be reignite it and show us those changes.
I've already asked for that. I mean.
You know, cause I know as a finance officer and with the budget, we very seldom request the budget committee come back
Right.
because everything was, you know, upsetting, but I am not comfortable with this, with the numbers not being accurate.
Understand.
Please.
So, City Administrator Bennett said that would take a couple of days. And so I'm open to this body's suggestion as to how we move forward if he's going to do that. And on the matter of staffing, I have staffing concerns too, and I've shared. Without the HR analysis, I've shared governmentsalaries.com, April 2024, Oregon salaries, and showing some discrepancies in, we have some of the lowest paid and one of the highest paid categories in the state. It doesn't all mesh to me either. And I would like a financial officer, and yet I think the staffing concerns are a city council issue as well as a city administrator and HR issue. So I don't know that this body is gonna get our goals met for staffing issues without further council meetings and without HR review. So we're gonna have to concede to the budgets and the job titles as they are put. It is my understanding, because it is not as my position on the budget committee to choose salaries and staff titles and job descriptions. So yes, as a city councilor, hopefully we will be talking about these later this year, but I don't think we're gonna get that resolved for this budget is my thought. And I hear your concerns and respect them, but I don't think as a budget committee, we can resolve them. So I understand Mary Ann's concerns about wanting to see everything in there. Just not sure where we go then. What's our next step?
I think we give them another week to get it in order and to come back in and we'll all just approve it. We'll have to go through that particular.
I have an issue with the timing of the budget. Were you going to bring the budget up at this next council meeting or the
Yes.
following council meeting?
This coming.
See, the following council meeting makes it very tight for them to get it in. I know, I've been there before, it's very tight. What's the date on that?
June 10th,
June 10th, but what's the next one?
June 24th.
Yeah,
But we met, this body met.
Did the same thing last year. It's June 25th or 4th or 6th, somewhere.
Would be the fifth.
yeah, and it's real tight.
But if we met next Wednesday, we couldn't vote on it for the 10th.
Correct. And we pushed it to the 24th. Because we have to notice it in the
Yeah,
newspaper and the website.
newspaper and,
And how much notice do we have to give for a budget meeting?
24 hours.
What's happening next Monday?
um,
I'm out of town, I know.
You have the charter town hall open house
Oh, that's
on next
right.
Monday.
well, I don't want to be the one to get screw it up. But I also want to be able to see these numbers.
You know,
So. If this group agreed, if we approve this budget as presented, but then we put a mark on a calendar, we're gonna come back and then get to the bottom of some of these discrepancies that you've identified, would that, would that satisfy you for this, for trying to get this resolved? I'm as concerned as you are, but I agree, I don't think we should hold it up. I think we need to give the administrator and CFO and whoever a chance to get that sorted out, and then we get it fixed in short order. And like I said, next year we should be having this. We need to do better next year than where we are this year. I just gotta say that.
Denise,
Didn't, City Administrator Bennett said when he gets the DEQ money and that there will be a budget resolution, what is it called, the budget
Amendment.
amendment? And so does this body need to come together to do that anyway?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure on that process. I'm not sure.
You don't have to have this body meeting in the budget committee, because council has the right to do that budget amendment. However, when we did budget amendments, we always notified the budget committee. Because they need to know what is going on. I mean, that's just the way we did it, so.
Are we allowed to approve this with a budget amendment upcoming pending DEQ data input? Can we put some,
I will I will okay the budget if I can be guaranteed that I will get these numbers, okay? That's all I ask.
So, how long will this actually take? I mean, you've got a city council, council next meeting is on the
On
tenth.
the tenth.
Is it possible for budget committee members and council members to meet a half an hour before the tenth? And all of this information be ready for us so that we can be assured that it will be there?
I think it's gonna be more than a half an
I think it's gonna be more than a half
an hour issue. Just usually. what-
I would like to approve the budget with the stipulation that when all of this gets taken care of, we have another meeting. Like Bernard said.
I second that, or I.
Okay, but let's get a date by the end of June.
No,
Has to be before then.
Well,
Needs,
the timeline, can we leave
Yeah,
the
we can
timeline, please?
how long do you anticipate that this meeting will take? An hour, half hour, 2 hours?
probably an hour and a half.
And so
Yes, I don't
the
know.
city council meeting is on the tenth at 7?
Yeah, but they have a workshop usually on the first
Yeah.
meeting of the month, so that's at 6:30.
Okay, so that's out of the question. It's not gonna work.
So how about the 19th?
that's Juneteenth, does this city hall get
We're
it?
not closed.
Yeah.
It works for me.
June 19th?
Yes, ma'am, that's what I'm proposing. And that would be enough time, you think, Jordan, to get that all sorted out and stay?
I'll double check with
About 2 weeks.
Carl. Yes, 3 weeks from today.
Right, 2 weeks, yeah.
And you don't anticipate the 12th would be enough time?
I do not feel comfortable having a meeting on the same day that we are having a discussion and honoring the last slaves that are free from our country. That's ridiculous.
Social studies.
I can understand that.
And I would also argue the city hall needs to be closed.
Or about the 18th?
I can't do Tuesdays. These are bowling. Well, I suppose
Monday?
I guess we could do it. I mean, I guess I could screen better.
Monday the 17th?
For me too, 17 or 18.
The day after Father's Day, I don't think anybody's going, like, I mean. There's schools out for you then.
Is the 12th too soon?
Yeah, I think that's.
Wednesday the 12th?
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather push it back to that next week, just to be safe, make sure we get everything in order.
Rather give
Yeah,
them
but
enough time.
we got the other budget.
So 17th or 18th, whichever you prefer. It's good with me. Jordan, what would you prefer?
I don't have.
You look at the calendar.
Yeah, I should probably double check, see what's going on here. But personally, I don't have.
And to be clear, I'm not against the police, I'm not hiring the police, but I just really feel that the city finances are really important. And we need
Or
to-
is in here on the 18th.
Okay, so the 17th then,
That's okay.
Monday the 17th?
17.
it's a Monday, 6:30. That the time, 6:30?
Yeah, same time.
Okay, so We don't need to make the motion again, do we? Okay, we're gonna take a second vote on approving the budget.
I think, is that how we do it? Or there's somebody who said no? You said no. Yes, your point was it, yeah.
So we're gonna take a second.
We need a new motion that says that.
Oh, yeah, now we can add that,
That,
If you like, this meeting occurs to resolve the.
Pete, would you
Yeah,
like to
sure.
enter your motion?
So I move to approve the Cascade Locks 2024-2025 budget in the amount of $16,568,733 with the budget meeting occurring on June 17th at 6:30 PM. To review the USDA and DEQ funds for the sewer fund.
question,
And let's get a second first.
I second.
Okay, go ahead.
and so if, that meeting doesn't satisfy the, concerns that have been expressed, what happens then? If we already passed it,
Yeah, we pass them.
then no. Yeah. So go ahead and vote.
So it's gonna fail, but
It's
go
gonna
ahead.
fail.
Yeah.
I guess, we've had a second, and we can have discussion, correct?
Yes.
And just as I understand this, DEQ is paying back USDA, or USDA is paying back DEQ, how's that go exactly?
DEQ is giving us the money to pay the contractors as the work went along. Once it's closed out, there's a final amount, we pass that final amount on to USDA, they write us a check. We deposit that check, we then write a check for that exact amount back to DEQ.
Okay, I can't keep track of all that, but essentially the net effect is it's a zero change.
It's zero.
We get money in, it goes out, but you wanna know what the
But you-
payment is as far as principal
Well,
and
the
interest,
payment
all
needs
that.
to be recorded, but so does the revenue that we have already received from DEQ. That revenue isn't even in there, and we have received $3 million from DEQ.
Is that right?
I'm assuming it would be this number. Whoever was looking at, but I have to double check. That was put under the IFA sewer facilities loan.
Connie, did you have a question?
My understanding is one of the things that we were waiting for, if we wait till that next meeting, is that we will have a budget then reflects how we have managed to move funds from one place to another to pay for the sheriff, the county, and that, I mean, we've seen it, but we haven't seen it in a budget. That's, so my understanding was that that was part of the reason that we would be waiting, that we would get a budget that would reflect that amount as well.
Okay, just so it's in that budget. If you look at what's out there and what you know now, it reflects all those changes. yes.
Okay, then if that's already in there, then the only thing it sounds like that we're waiting on is making sure that all the revenue has been reported that we have already received from DEQ and what we anticipate will go out.
Please.
And I just wanted to reiterate what Councilmember Happy said. So it's a net zero is what I believe we're waiting for, but we want to see it. We want to see it there, and it does look like he is showing the DEQ or the loan money in, it almost equals the 3 million that's there, right?
Yeah.
So that's already there, we can see it, but we don't have the in out of the USDA to the DEQ, so I'm not uncomfortable with a net zero piece not showing yet, but I understand that it's important to see it, and I'm happy that that this body wanted to include the months of sheriff extra pay, and that has been added in, even though, you know, I have a personal opinion about that, but, so anyway, that's why I would vote yes even though I would like to see that.
Okay, it shows IFA sewer facilities loan Biz Oregon. According to that, we received $2,300,000 and some thousand from Biz Oregon. DEQ says we only received $30,879. Now, Biz Oregon is one of our loans. And so is USDA, CDBG, and DEQ. So all of that money is not being reflected there.
I'm guessing it was booked to the wrong line because the loan amount from Biz Oregon was not that much.
Well, I agree, we gotta get that sorted out.
Yeah.
No.
I think it's good that we've identified this, and I think we need to get the numbers straight, and I'm really glad you got it. I think that this budget process has highlighted a lot of issues with our enterprise funds that we gotta get sorted out. I'm really happy that we have money set aside in each of those to do a cost of service analysis in sewer and water, so we can get those funds, it's in a healthy balance, specifically sewer. We've already talked about putting it on the next council meeting about the transfers for the franchise. What do we call it? Payments and
Internal payments.
yeah, internal payments, there are definitely not fees for internal payments here, correcting that. But I agree that we gotta get our finances sorted out, and that's gotta be, for me anyway, I feel like it's a top priority for the next fiscal year. I'd like to see our, Ms. Pruitt actually approve one of our budgets in these years, so that'll be I'd be happy to see that.
You'll be happy, huh?
I'd be happy, that's right.
Okay, so the motion's been made. Let's do the roll call.
Councilmember Emmeline Baker,
Yes.
Happy,
Yes.
Keller,
Yes.
Mayor Fallon,
Aye.
Citizen Member Bump,
Yes.
Bataccio,
No,
Pruitt,
No.
Seeger,
Yeah,
and Seeger.
yes,
Sorry. Sorry.
last one, yeah.
Good.
So I want to remind the budget committee, there's a lot of things in here I don't like either. I don't like cutting community funds. I'm a big fan of supporting community. There's a lot of things we had to shift. Training, I'm a huge fan of training. We had to cut that. There's a lot of things in here I didn't agree with, but it's things that we had to do for now. And that's why I'm approving. For me, it's a yes, but I'm not saying I love the whole budget. So I'm not gonna hold up a budget because I don't like the community being cut or things like that.
I'm not holding up the budget for that. I'm holding up the budget.
Oh, I'm not, I'm,
And you're not even holding up it.
No, I've
you're
agreed to
not.
this.
Yeah.
You know,
I
because,
never, Mary Ann, I didn't say it was you.
no, I know,
I'm just
but
speaking in general that there's, because Tiffany, you had brought up, you were voting no because you didn't like the one way it is, and I think everyone can agree in this meeting, we would all like to see things allocated out a little
I will
differently.
never vote for the internal payments, so.
I voted no because if I'm coming back on the 17th, I want to vote then. Not now,
But.
because I want to see it I want to see it done. And I'll vote on it when I see it done. If it's that important that we have to come back on the 17th, then I want to vote on the 17th, not today. Has nothing to do with my disagreement over things that are in the budget or not in the budget.
Okay, so my understanding is that coming back on the 17th, it's not gonna change anything except for where that money, where the line item where that money goes. So it's not gonna change anything else in the budget. It's just going to clear up that $2.3 million along with the DEQ sewer facilities loan. So it's not gonna change anything
it'll change the revenue that this sewer fund has.
except for the revenue.
Yes, it will change the revenue. Right now, the sewer fund, what's their beginning balance? I don't know the beginning balance. See, and I think it will change that.
Okay, but then by then the 17th would be way too late. Bernard,
So we might be in an impasse here. I mean, I think one option for the city to consider is we don't submit a budget by 1 July. You can ask for a an extension, exactly, and then, see what the state says. I know other cities have done that. I've never done it, but I have
I've never done that either.
It can be done. And, so that might be what we have to do. I don't know. I
So
mean,
fines are included in that?
I don't think so. They're generally, flexible. Or we get one of our budget committee members here who might be supportive of what's being proposed. This one, or who else is missing?
Karen,
Sean,
John.
Sharon, yeah. Okay.
And
So we got three missing. Four.
Or,
Uh-huh.
yeah, we got 4 mentioned.
Nobody's on Zoom.
Nope.
We want to take a short recess and see if other members are available to get on Zoom or not.
I thought about that, but I feel like.
Well, we already went over it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we
What
would
how
have
they
to go
gonna-
again.
how are we gonna vote on it if we
I
don't? know
just
what we discussed?
brainstormed.
Yeah.
Well,
I did think the same thing, though.
I think it's a good idea, but we explain to them what the holdup is and say, if you agree with that holdup, then you vote what you say no. But please explain, say, we got everybody to this point except for this piece. This is what's holding us up. Do you have concerns with that, given the stipulation that Mary Ann required? If that soothes your concerns, then you can vote yes. If it doesn't, then we don't, we're at an impasse. But I feel like it's worth a try.
Because meeting next week sometimes is not enough time.
No.
It would push it back to the 24th as long as we present it to council.
Which would still be before the deadline, right?
It is, but by the time you have to prepare it and file it, that's the problem.
But I still think that's a better option than, asking for the extension. I propose that we, reconvene next week on Wednesday, try to get the USDA DEQ sewer revenue sorted out. Maybe we'll have a few more people present, and I know it's a tight timeline, but I would feel better, and I agree with you, Tony, that it'd be nice to actually have the numbers on here before we vote on the budget.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna be, I'll be on an airplane Wednesday.
I am not sure that, to be honest with you, that gives Jordan enough time.
And I don't think that's enough time either. That's my.
Because
I have
it's
two
gonna take
concerns.
time to go through the
Yeah.
deal and
This is-
figure out where the money
Yeah,
is.
it's gonna take, yeah, a couple days of just concentrating on this. to make-
Yeah, I just don't know if that's enough time. Well, I won't finish it, but I don't think that's enough time to do it.
Well, Bernard made a suggestion about, see if we can get somebody, a voting member on and explain where we are. So that they can vote according to their conscience or ask questions, and we are here to take a short
We
recess.
recess and try to do that.
Okay.
I'm open to other ideas, either that or get an extension. I don't know what else to do.
I would like to not have to file an extension. But also at the same time, get all our numbers correct. So
So you're.
How does
trying to
everybody-
get a recess to get,
how does everybody feel about a recess and?
Yeah, we can do a 10-minute recess and come back here at 8.
Is Butch around?
He might be back on his appointment, I don't know. We can reach out to him.
Maybe Sean could be available by Zoom now.
Possibly, yeah. I'll reach out to him.
Okay, we're on recess.
Who else? We don't know about the others.
I don't know where Karen.
Good night.
She's there.
Oh, we're just on recess, we're just, oh, okay. Right.
This person, you know,
That
every
inside.
person.
Call Butch.
I don't have her.